When St. Paul said Jesus is our Passover lamb, what did he mean? To understand what he meant, we need to understand what a Passover lamb was in biblical times. So I'm going to read to you a story I wrote about a little Hebrew girl, Miriam, and her Passover lamb. The Passover Lamb. Remember, Miriam instructed her father Jacob, you can only choose one lamb to take home. They are all so cute, it's hard for me to decide, she replied. Each lamb is saying, pick me. I want them all. Then you would have to move here to take care of them, teased Jacob. We have room in our house for just one lamb. For weeks, Miriam had looked forward to this day. Her father had promised her that he would take her to a nearby farm to pick out a Passover lamb. It would be her responsibility to take care of him. They were Hebrews who lived in the land God gave their ancestors. Before the Hebrews entered the land, God gave them laws to follow. They took the laws seriously because God promised to bless them if they obeyed His laws. None of this was on Miriam's mind when she picked out a lamb to take home with her. These two seem to be picking me, she told her father as two lambs nudged up to her. Look, one has a slight limp, so she needs me the most. I'll pick her. No, said Jacob, the lamb has to be perfect to be a Passover lamb, so you have to pick her brother. Jacob didn't have the heart to tell his daughter that the lamb with the limp was lucky she could not be a Passover lamb. He knew Miriam would eventually learn why, but that would keep her from being happy now. Dad, I feel bad about taking the lamb from his lamb family. I thought that today would be a happy day getting my own lamb. Don't be upset. Your lamb is now 5 months old and ready to leave his lamb family and be part of our family. He will live in our house and not outside like he is now. What are you going to name him? When you give a creature a name, that makes him important to you. Will he be mine? All creatures are God's, but you will be responsible for caring for him. Miriam thought hard about a name. It must be perfect because my lamb is perfect, she thought. I know, I'll call him Tamim. That's Hebrew for perfect. It wasn't a long walk through the Judean countryside to return back to their brick and mud house. In fact, when they were halfway home, Miriam could see Tamim's old and new homes at the same time. Realizing how close the two homes were somehow made Miriam feel better. However, Tamim was already feeling safe and loved by his new family. Miriam worried about how their dog, Shamar, would react when he saw Tamim. She knew Shamar liked to chase small animals, as dogs are hunters by nature. Shamar ran up to Tamim with his tail wagging, as if he were welcoming a new puppy. "Look, Dad," Miriam said. "Shamar is greeting Tamim as if he was his own puppy. How can Shamar already know it's his job to help protect our lamb?" "Because he can sense that Tamim is precious to you and he is in the protecting business." Miriam's mother, Rachel, was tending the olive trees when she saw Miriam and Tamim. "Look, Mother, isn't he perfect? He's so perfect that I named him Tamim. He's going to be my lamb forever." "Yes, Miriam, you have a perfect little lamb," agreed her mother as she picked up Tamim. Like Jacob, Rachel didn't have the heart to tell Miriam what a Passover lamb was for. "Yes, you will love him forever," agreed Rachel as she hugged Miriam. Life in Judea 2,000 years ago was both simple and busy for a girl Miriam's age. She got up at daylight, helped her mother weave and tend the family's olive trees. She also helped grind wheat to make bread. Her mother taught her how to find plants that they used to make dyes to color their clothes. For 5 months, Tamim followed Miriam wherever she went. Miriam's favorite part of the day was going with her mother to fill jars of water at their village well. They looked forward to meeting the other women and girls of the village there. Everyone would share news about what was going on in their village and the world beyond. All the women shared the great hope that they would learn that the Messiah had come. He would free the Hebrews from Roman rule and restore the throne of David. One morning, when Rachel and Miriam came to the well, the other women already there were all excited. "What do you know that makes you all so happy?" Rachel asked. Miriam's aunt, Anika, a seamstress, was eager to share the news. "There are reports of a wonder rabbi," Hebrew for teacher, "who can perform miracles. He has made the blind to see, the lame to walk, and even brought the dead back to life." "How do we know this is really happening?" asked Rachel. "Maybe it's just hearsay." "I know it's true because 3 travelers to our village have seen him perform miracles," replied Anika. "I know it's true because I have seen it myself," said Sarah, who had just joined the group. "When I visited my sister Jonah in Capernaum, I saw him heal everyone who asked for healing," added Sarah. "Do you think he is the Messiah?" asked Rachel. "I don't know. He's not a warrior, but teaches love and peace. Many do think he is the Messiah, including the prophet John the Baptist. Whoever he is, he must be from God, or he couldn't heal the sick and bring the dead back to life," said Sarah. "I hope I get to meet him," Miriam whispered to her mother. "I want Tamim to also meet him." "You will meet him if it's God's will, answered her mother. When Passover was 30 days away, Tamim's life changed. Jacob explained, now that Passover is near, we must be sure that Tamim stays perfect for Passover. To keep him from cutting himself or being bitten or kicked by other animals, we are going to keep him always inside. He still didn't want to upset Miriam by telling her why Tamim had to be free of wounds. 3 days before Passover, Jacob, Rachel, Miriam, and Tamim set out on foot for Jerusalem and the temple. They left Shamar home with water and food to guard their house. They would stay with Rachel's sister's family when they got to Jerusalem. Remember, Miriam, explained her mother, it's a day's walk to Jerusalem, and it's your responsibility to assure that Tamim arrives safely. I know, Mother. When he gets tired, I will carry him. I have packed food and water for him. Halfway there, Miriam asked her parents, when we take Tamim to the temple as our Passover lamb, will he be able to come back home with us? No, answered her father, he will stay at the temple. Will he live at the temple with the other lambs? Miriam's parents spoke quietly to each other. They agreed that they delayed explaining the fate of her beloved lamb as long as they could. No, my darling child, explained her mother. Tamim and the other Passover lambs are brought to the temple to be sacrificed as sin offerings by the temple priests. It will be painless. Killed for sin, screamed Miriam. What for? It's not fair. What did Tamim do to be killed? That is the point, my darling, her mother tried to explain. He is sinless. You have kept him perfect. It is our sin that he is being sacrificed for. We are following the law God gave us Hebrews. Then I don't want to be a Hebrew if it means having my pet lamb killed, screamed Miriam. She grabbed Tamim and began to run home. Both Jacob and Rachel looked up to heaven, hoping God would help comfort their daughter. They didn't have to wait long for an answer. My precious child, you will always be a Hebrew, said a rabbi who had just approached. His voice sounded both kind and comforting. Your lamb doesn't have to be sacrificed at the temple. God has sent me, his only begotten Son, the Messiah, to be the final sacrifice for sin. Are you Jesus, the rabbi that my sister Anika believes is our Messiah? Asked Rachel. Yes, Rachel, I am. I am also the perfect lamb our Father God has sent as an atonement for sin. Rachel and Jacob, if you had Tamim sacrificed at the temple, then next year you must bring another lamb to be killed, and every year do the same. Follow me, and let me be both your Messiah and Passover lamb. Spare Tamim and follow me. Miriam hugged Tamim, overjoyed that they had found the Messiah, and her lamb would live.